So we're at the meat plant. With me is Philip Parsons, who's now the meat director. Our first time meeting. It's changed a bit over the years. And also Tim Baker, this is your responsibility.
I'm the chairman of our meat company, yes.
Okay, well thanks for inviting us up, because we've been talking about this for ages. To see, I think people really do want to see what is going on here, and it's had a rocky past. Now, I guess maybe that should go to you about the new beginnings and that sort of thing, but this guy's obviously very important to that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we're on a turnaround journey. We changed the structure of the meat plant 29th of March last year, when it was taken into a new structure with DEFA and the FMA, Fat Stock Marketing Association, owning the business, and with an independent commercial board, which I lead, charged with moving the meat plant forward. And we had three key elements to the initial phase of activity, and the most important was to get the right management team in to run this place. And absolutely delighted with Phil. Phil's been with us just over a year now, and as plant director, he's absolutely at the core of the efficient and effective running of this place.
Okay, before we go on, I should point out we're now going to show some carcasses. We've been around the building. Nothing is distressing in that sense. So if you don't like meat, obviously it might be a problem. So just warning everyone now. I found it okay. What did you find here when you came to this? I mean, this is obviously a challenging job, right?
Yeah, it's a very challenging job, but I think farming and the industry as a whole was challenging last year with the complications you had with the drought and everything else. So that was an added dimension to last year. The plant itself is a very good plant. It's got everything in it that you'd require to process the animals through and come out with a quality product at the other end.
And we've been having a look around, as I said, on that. But we've still got major problems over here that the multinationals aren't taking local products. Who wants to deal with that one?
So we're on a journey, Paul, and
we were last time we talked.
Yeah, and these things take time to.
You made a promise, I think.
I did. You pressed me, Paul, on when we expected to be trading with Tesco, which is obviously clearly very important retailer on the island, along with others. And I said at the time that I'd be disappointed if we weren't trading with them by the end of the year, and we're making some good progress with them. With some engagement and some activity going on, and I'm still very confident that we're going to achieve that. So,
okay, well, that's a political answer. How are you finding it?
As Tim said, we're on the journey, but we're not at the start line. We're not quite at the finish line, but we are well along the track to getting product into them. I've set myself some goals and made some promises to the board and the chairman of when I expect it to be in.
Mm-hmm. And there is like M&S and other things. Are you working on them as well?
We're working on growing our sales opportunity, and it's both on island and off island. We want to sell more on island. We want to work with the Tesco's and M&S, but also with our valued partners, ShopRite and Co-op in particular, and the butchers and the wholesalers. And it's very much about giving a quality product that people on the island want to buy and getting it at the right price. But also off island, we talked a few months ago about the appointment of Northgate Foods as our strategic partner selling into the UK, and they're making good progress. They've been in a couple of months now, and it is a very, very difficult market, particularly on beef at the moment, linked largely to Brexit, where we saw particularly the Irish producers effectively dumping stock into the UK market, ahead of what could potentially have been and still could be a hard Brexit. So market's very tough. Northgate are doing a really good job for us, and we're moving forward with finding new customers and growing our sales into the UK as well as on Ireland.
We translate that with a tough market for a politician means it's very tricky out there.
Yeah, it is hard at the moment, to the extent where there are other companies, shall we say, across the water have actually shut the doors this week. They find it that difficult. So for us, we've just got to battle the storm and just keep doing what we do and come out the other side of it.
Have we got past this business of shipping animals over, though? I mean, overall, you are now respected and given the right money, and you're sighing slightly on that one?
Yeah, I think there will always be export. But what we've got to do is build the confidence back into the farming community that we're going to use the animals that are out there. So we've got to look for the sales to use all these animals through the plant and reduce what is exported, because we do pay a good price.
And loss making, or the terminology, subvention continues.
Yeah, I mean, this is a core piece of the island's infrastructure. The value of the meat plant isn't just measured in its financial performance, it's measured in its impact on the agricultural sector, its impact on the food and hospitality sector, and making sure that there's something distinctively Manx for local residents and visitors to enjoy, and on the impact on live shipping. And we're seeing progress in all of those areas. So we're actually double-digit growth in terms of volumes of animals through the plant so far this year against last year, and that means that less animals are being shipped. And I touched on early elements of our strategy. Getting the new management team in was absolutely core, but so was getting the right pricing back to the farmers. And under the previous regime here, pricing back to the farmers had been cut, and it had effectively forced lots of farmers to live export because they couldn't afford not to. And I'm never going to criticise farmers for doing that, because they've got to have viable businesses and they've got to be able to pay their bills. What we want to do is to make the meat plant the destination of choice, and I believe that we are doing that because the pricing's right. The communication back to the industry can always be improved, but it's far better than it was, and we need to make sure that we can take their animals in a schedule that suits our customers but also works for the farmers. And that's where the recent strengthening of procurement with Kiri Kermode coming on board, which is a great appointment for us, where there's value in that. And we're trying to grow our volumes, because it's like any other business. You've got peaks and troughs, and as we come into peak season, we have to be able to flex our production, but we have to be able to sell the product.
Yeah.
And we're not going to just take animals for the sake of it unless we know that we've got a market, and that's where our on-island partners and Northgate in particular come.
Right, but I mean, there's horror stories about you don't want any meat, or there's always some story going out there. Farmers seem to have issues with this. Have they gone away? I don't know who wants to bat that one off. Are you talking more to farmers?
I believe we are speaking to farmers more, and I don't think the issue will ever go away, because obviously the seasonality of the animals, they always want to move them at certain times of the year, and that doesn't always suit what we do now. So we've got plans in place that will look after the farmers through to keep animals to the time of year that we want them. That's something that Kiri and Ben are working very hard on at the moment. I wouldn't say a contract, but I would say an agreement with certain farmers, or really anybody who wants to pick that up with us, that we will make sure that what they do won't cost them at the end of it.
Okay, well, obviously lots more to talk about, so we'll continue with the second part.